So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast for another Aston Villa Champions League win. Aston Villa getting their, I suppose, really kind of getting their European not winning away hoodoo. I'm not going to say out of the way, but a 3-2 win away at Leipzig is a good win, regardless of the fact that Leipzig haven't won it all this year in the Champions League. So I'm taking that all day long. I'm taking it so much that I'm going to turn on my light here behind me. There we go. For those listening on the audio podcast, I'm now worried because my light doesn't turn on. I'm worried what one of my kids did to it. And maybe they've chewed through something because they are too. It's like something that my son would do. Anyway, back to the podcast here. Aston Villa 3, Leipzig 2. A win is a win is a win. I said beforehand I didn't care. I couldn't care less how we scored the goal if Doris, the tea lady, was to come off the bench and to bang it into the back of the net. But as we found out, she was injured. And instead, it was Ross Barkley that came off the bench and banged one in the back of the net, courtesy of a massive deflection. Couldn't care less. Dress it up whatever way or dress it down whatever way you want. A goal is a goal is a goal. We had other goals chalked off today as well. John Duran obviously coming off the bench and scoring what can only be described as a John Duran goal. People who listen to the podcast will know that I absolutely adore a striker by the name of Gabriele Batistuta. And the reason that I absolutely adore him, and I think he doesn't get the credit he gets, is because he used to score these wonderful goals, like take pot shots. And it only struck me today that maybe the closest thing I've seen to somebody like Batistuta is Duran, because he just takes shots from everywhere and he's no right to score any of them. And it was a massive, massive goal for Aston Villa, and fair play to him. He just come on. You know what? It was a real tonic that the team needed. Yes, we conceded another superb goal. Baumgartner's finish is nothing short of superb as well. Bit of a mix up in the defense at that stage. Martinez comes, and hesitates. The first goal, obviously, as we know, Martinez comes. He shouldn't have gone anywhere near it. Or if he does come, he takes out all four players that were around him, and he makes sure that he heads that out. But not his finest hour in that aspect. But look, I suppose that's just a little, very quick synopsis of the 5 goals that we saw in that game. But Paddy has joined me, and I'm going to bring him in now, Mr. Kelly. Paddy, are you happy? 3-2 win. Looks like Villa all but qualified now for the knockout stages of the Champions League, and more or less, I would say, qualified win the top 16.
Well, I suppose the most important thing is we got the win. And you asked me, was I happy? Not overly happy with the way it panned out, but we did enough to get the win, and we were the better side. And I didn't enjoy the mistakes that were made during the game. But other than that, absolutely delighted to get the 3 points. Bitterly disappointed to look around that ground and see all them empty seats, considering I couldn't buy 2 together.
Yeah.
But there you go. Then you create a bullshit club from a bullshit company. That's what you get. Half-hearted fucking fans turning up for matches. Anyway, I hope everybody that's in Leipzig tonight has an absolute ball and has great fun and games and sings their hearts out and wakes up with a huge hangover tomorrow. I decided against having a beer when their first goal went in, because I thought I'm actually going to internally combust here. That's the way I felt at the time. I just felt both goals, Emi Martinez could have dealt with them. And when you're world number 1 and when you have that title on your head, you've got to go and boss that area. You've got to go and take man, ball, and every living thing out of the way to save it. And he didn't twice. So it's got to be spoken about. I think it's as simple as that. He's got the first one especially. He's got to come and head the ball. Absolutely got to come and head the ball. The minute that ball bounces, anything goes.
Yeah, he
from then
takes,
on,
he goes WWE style over the top rope and just absolutely knabbles everybody in front of it. Keepers get away with that crack. Come here,
Yeah.
if I'm a lunatic like Martinez, if I have an opportunity to do something like that, I'm taking everyone out with me. You know, that's I remember Mark Bosnich used to do that. He used to come to the edge of his area and go and get the ball out there. And I remember him absolutely clattering into Jurgen Klinsmann once, if not twice. You know, being brave and coming for balls like that back in the day where you could lead with your knee. I'm not suggesting Martinez needed to do that there, but yeah, definitely needs to come out. By his movement, he makes Carlos stop, he makes Konza stop as well, and then he realizes, shit, it's not coming into the box, and then it's everybody
Then he
stopped
lets
and
it
Openda
bounce.
just does.
Instead
He
of
lets it
driving a
bounce,
kick
yeah.
at it, instead of driving a kick at it
Yeah.
when it gets to that stage, he lets it bounce.
Yeah.
The second one, then I know he's out of picture by the time it comes there, but there was one replay behind the goal where he starts backing off when the ball comes over, when he probably should have went and closed down Openda. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Openda, yeah.
And Openda, sorry, and then what about the finish from Baumgartner? Oh, Jesus Christ, what a goal! Like we'll talk about the other goals, but like that finish is absolutely incredible. With one touch to do it the way he did, brilliant.
Oh, and it took forever to go in the net. And like, you know, we've criticized Martinez about that, but Martinez is just looking at that going, there isn't a hope in hell I can get to this ball. There isn't a hope I can get. Like, it was just a beauty of a finish. And you know what? We here in Ireland, I wasn't watching this in Amazon Prime. I was watching it in Virgin Media too. And Jerry, what you call him? Jerry Armstrong was, and he kept on saying through the first half, Baumgartner's some finisher. Oh, Baumgartner's great finisher. He's great at finishing the ball. And I'm like, fucker hasn't even touched the ball. He's been nowhere near. And Armstrong was bigging him up big style. And I was like, come on, Jerry. Like, put down the sherry. And then all of a sudden, bang. Like this finish. And I was like, yeah, Jerry must have seen that one coming, or he's watching this in slow motion somewhere along the line. But great call from Jerry Armstrong. Look, I know I'm being a bit flippant.
Must be the only thing he called.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff was Brian have Brian Kerr as well at halftime as well. It just I needed a drink after listening to Brian Kerr at times, but anyway, we won't go down that road. I don't mind Brian Kerr, but just sometimes. Anyway, Paddy. Let's start, I suppose, at the start, because we haven't talked about John McGinn's goal. It's the only goal I haven't talked about, because it's almost like a secondary thought at the moment, because it happened so long ago. But first of all, we start off, and it is 3 at the back. Could you imagine my delight when I see that the first ball is kicked off, and I'm like, there's no, it ain't 4 at the back here. It's 3 at the back, and it freaking worked, Paddy. I know we had the mix up. Maybe that was one of the reasons for the mix up and the goalkeeper coming. But Jesus, some of the play in the first 20 minutes, first half was just really nice. It was one touch, beautiful stuff, and you couldn't but look at it and go, Christ, where has this been for the last 10 weeks?
Well, I tell you the difference that playing the two wing backs did was it dragged people out of that middle circuit that we've been working so hard to try and break down without any success, and it just left the space open. So Roger saw more of the ball, McGinn saw more of the ball, and it was just perfect. Everything, like, it was perfect tactics for the game we were in. But like we still made a couple of defensive errors in there as well. But don't get me wrong, I think that's the way forward, and we've spoken about this many times off camera as well, that you know maybe it's ideal for shoehorning Mings back into this system. I'm absolutely delighted with how it started and how we played, specifically in the first 35-40 minutes, and the way we created that space in the midfield by dragging those players out to look after Cash and Digne. And that's the way forward for me. It's absolutely the way forward. Now, will people rectify their game to sort it out? Yes, they will. Will other teams make it hard? Yes, they will. They aren't the world beaters that they were made out to be when we were drawn. Like they're pool one
team, yeah,
and our tier one, whatever you call them. Anyway, they've lost every game now, and we can see why. They're poor. There's no gel. There's a couple of individuals in there that are probably keeping them ticking over into the top 4 of the Bundesliga, but there's no gel keeping the whole team together, which we have seen in our specifically that 35-40 minutes that we have, and we've got a good bunch of players that work hard for each other, and a few players stood out tonight that have probably gone unnoticed, or because it's been so congested in the middle, there's been no space. Boubacar Kamara's movement tonight was absolutely a joy to watch. It was
so good,
absolutely incredible. At one stage, he took a ball diagonally across the box, and it looked like he was going to Duran. He's going to Duran, and next thing he just turned and fed Rodgers on the edge of the box. And Rodgers had so much space, he didn't know what to do with it. But it was just such a clever move. He done some brilliant stuff, turning players inside out. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. He's by far and away our most important player at the moment. He's absolutely brilliant. And it just goes unnoticed because he's in an area where it's congested. And unless you're looking hard at what he does, it goes unnoticed. Like he barely had to touch the ball in the first half, but when he did, it was incredible. And in the second half, it was even better.
I can't remember who wrote an article during the week. Was it Matt Law? Was it someone in the Times who said Boubacar Kamara is Aston Villa's Rodri? It's like, I don't like saying he's Aston Villa's Rodri, but I know what they mean by that. Like the pivotal nature, the difference he brings when he's in the team, like that for you, and the difference he makes in that formation. How many times did Tielemans get the ball and break through the mid block that they had at times? How many times did John McGinn make forward runs today and get into the? We didn't even talk about the goal after I said that we were going to talk about it. Yeah. But how many times did we see those players breaking from midfield like we've seen before? Like as I said, the three at the back thing is something that I've been so curious to see. And I'm fucking giddy after I saw it there in that first half. Now, it wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a silver bullet. Teams will look at that and go, oh, yeah, there's areas here we can pick apart, of course. But having a plan B and being able to integrate it in here, it's something that people have talked about over the last 10 weeks, maybe, of our poor form. Where is our plan B? Or have we been found out? Well, if we've got plan A and plan B now, if this does turn out to be something that we work at it, we go and we utilize going forward, well, then that gives us two ways. And Unai Emery has always said that, you're building towards something, and we're still building towards something. And we're probably ahead of where we want, not where we want it to be, but we're ahead of where they would have envisaged we would have been at this stage, I would imagine. But that's no excuse. You still go out and you try things, and they did that today. And I think, as you said, it brought the best out of Kamara, brought the best out of Tielemans, brought the best out of McGinn, I know he was taken off at half time, but Ollie Watkins runs really well in that system. He had Rodgers closer to him, he had McGinn closer to him, and then Duran comes on, and Duran gave the best overall performance I've seen him give for Aston Villa tonight. He's build-up play for his goal. We'll get to Duran in a moment. We still haven't talked about John McGinn's goal, because the ball comes across, Matty Cash crosses in with his left foot, and John McGinn finishes with his right. And how many, you probably would have got 200 to 1 on that happening if you put a bet on it today. But it was a super goal, and it's exactly what we needed.
Yeah. No, it was a brilliant goal. Right from the build-up play to the ball, to it breaking down and reclaiming it, giving it out to Matty Cash. Matty Cash crossing on his left foot. Absolutely stupendous header from Ollie Watkins. The only thing he did right in the game for me. And brilliant finish on the right foot of John McGinn. Can't beat it. Absolutely can't beat it. And I'll invite those who are giving out the negativity in the comments. Wait for the full podcast. We're allowed to talk about mistakes, and we're allowed to be annoyed at mistakes. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
We've been done with positive.
All right, keep going. Let them have it. If they want to have a pop at me, have a pop at me. I'm entitled to say if there was a mistake made. There was an even worse mistake made later in the game that we get to by Pau Torres, which could have cost us even more.
Yeah,
but anyway,
passes it right across the box. But Martinez,
you can see the two goals. You have to talk about them. You can't just.
And they were
fluffy
both
stuff.
Martinez issues.
Yes, we're top 8. Yes, we're in that top 8 position, but there are problems there that need to be discussed and things that need to be discussed. But overall,
I
absolutely
wouldn't.
delighted.
I wouldn't have thought it was controversial to discuss that Martinez was an issue for the goals because well, it's definitely for the first one. I think I put up on Twitter and I said that Carlos, it was a communication issue between Carlos and Martinez, and Martinez has no issue, he either doesn't come for it, he does come for it, but he doesn't do what he should do. And look, I think that's pretty fair to say because it was a silly goal to give away, and then you also have the second goal. I think he hesitates again in the second goal because the first goal happens. But I've just seen the second goal there, and that finish is just incredible. It's been played up here again. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, McGinn scores that goal, gets us off to an absolute flyer at the start, and we play absolute silky football, as I say, the 27-minute. Then we can see that goal that we've discussed already. But I thought we kind of came back. I thought we had more chances then again in that first half. I think Tielemans has a chance. I think Watkins puts one in the back of the net. He was offside for it. Then he's fed through again for another one. He slips as he's taking the shot. I'm trying to think. We had another chance. There was another person had a chance. Rogers puts one over the bar as well, I remember. And I seem to remember, the one that fizzes right across the goals, and Matty Cash could have got in at the back post as well, but I think maybe Watkins could have got to the front post as well. So the big thing for me was we created a ton of chances. In the first half, even though we were going in 1-1 in the first half. And that to me is fed by the system. Then we come out in the second half. John Duran comes on at half time, Ollie Watkins comes off. And then that goal again, is real impetus, for John Duran when he comes on. What minute did he score the goal in? Was it the 52nd or the 56th or something like that?
55 is in my head.
Yeah, it's shortly after. And two things we've fallen victim of is conceding early goals in both halves in recent weeks, and we did that today. And I think that is their game changers. They're momentum shifters. Yes, we conceded 2 after we scored them, but then we get the goal in the 80. I think Ross Barkley comes on the 82nd minute, scores in the 84th minute. So we've gotten the goals at the opportune times, and we were able to hang out in this game again today. And that's that's the essence of. That's why I'm so happy about this win. I'm so happy about it is that the character it shows to go away from home. Yeah, Leipzig, not exactly. Look, they're not putting up trees in the Champions League. But they're a pot one team, and arguably, well, I won't say arguably, we have the better squad of players. But it's a game that you have to go out and win. And with that qualification more or less guaranteed, like I look at it now, we're guaranteed top 24 now. Guaranteed top 24. There's 2 teams on 7 points, Feyenoord and we're headed up there, and somebody else. But that means every other team above them has to win out. And they have to win out, and other teams above them have to win out. So, for me, that means we're guaranteed. It's PSG and Feyenoord are on 7 points. Then you've got Zagreb, Juventus, PSV, and Man City on 8 points. Then you've got Celtic, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, and Benfica on 9 points. So we're 4 points ahead of that cohort as well. So for me, we're qualified. It's just whether we want to get in the top 16 or the top 24.
We're safe enough to say that if we didn't win the next 2 games, we're still going to get that playoff in February. But you'd like to think,
we won't be.
You'd like to think we're in pole position now to finish top 8 with the fixtures we have left.
Yes, yeah, but we can't get caught for top 24. Is what I'm saying, because every other team below us has to win, and that can't happen. That can't
win
happen.
All their games.
They have to win all their games. That can't happen. So we are qualified for the next round of the Champions League. And remember, I know at the start of the year, we were saying, forget it, top 24. It's money in the bank. It's money in the bank is what it is. If we can get in the top 16, it's money in the bank. If we can get in the top 8, it's money in the bank. So I'm like this. This is just. It's like there's a sense of a weight off my shoulders after this win today, because of what it allows us to do, to be reactive and reactive. I suppose we can go out to Monaco and obviously go out there and try and put in a performance or whatever we want to do, but we don't have to be worrying about going, fuck, we have to play, is it Man City, then we have to play Monaco, oh Jesus, and you've got 2 big games on the horizon there together. You can pick and choose now with Monaco. Do you want to go full strength? Do you not want to go full strength? Monaco are flying it in the Champions League too. Do we really need to go out there and flog our horses for 90 minutes when we have games in the Premier League, which he obviously appreciates too? I don't know. We can box clever, I think, going forward now with regards to that. Knowing that we've got Celtic at home in the last game, who may need to win to get in themselves. So it's not going to be an easy tie. But
I don't think either game will be a pushover. But you've got to.
Monaco definitely won't.
You got to think that we'd be in pole position to pick up 3 points there, definitely. With the 2 games that we have, which might be enough. But anyway, the most important thing is we've got the scores on the board. We're through to the next round, albeit not mathematically true, but theoretically we can't be caught. And we can start concentrating on what's got to come up in the next few weeks. And it's important that we get over the line in the Premier League and start getting more points on the board. So with that in mind, does he continue with this 3 at the back, Neil? Because I was delighted to see it tonight. I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how expansive we were and how we could mix it up by having that outlet.
Yeah. Sometimes you wait for like buses to come along, and then they come along, and then the bus takes for fucking ever to get you where you go. Everybody talks about, you wait for buses to come along and 2 come along at the same time. No, I've got this scenario where you wait for a bus and you've been waiting ages, and then the bus comes along. And then it takes every back road and end road, and it goes as slow as a wet week, and you're doubly late for where you want to go. So I don't know where that analogy is going, but I think he goes back to normal formation at the weekend. I don't think he plays the 3 at the back. I want him to, but I think this is horses for courses today. I think the 4-2-2-2 situation that Leipzig kind of wanted to play when they were in possession, with getting Nusa and Napenda and Seshko and Baumgartner higher up the field when they were in possession as quick as they possibly could. I think they couldn't do that when we had our two wing backs there. But for me, I want to see this. I want to see this evolve. I want to see this grow. I know we can play the 4-2-3-1. I know we can do that to great effect. We've seen it last year. We've seen it this year. We can win games. We can get results. We can grind out results. I want to see us do it another way. Call me greedy if you want. But this is something I've been clamoring on since Pau Torres signed for Aston Villa. I've been saying that I think this is coming. I think it's going to come at some stage. And I saw it tonight, and I want to see more of it. But do I think that he sticks with it in the match against Forest at the weekend? I'd be surprised, but I'd be happy if he did stick with it. Put it that way. That's probably a diplomatic answer. I think the bigger question, Paddy, is, and I'm going to pose it: Are we ever going to go with 2 strikers up top, or does Duran start for you at the weekend now, I suppose, or what way does it look? Like you mentioned there that you thought that Ollie Watkins, that the header down was the only good thing he did in the first half. I think that's slightly harsh, but obviously I would always do that. I would think that, because I thought that he did some good things in the game. Finishing is still an issue for him. There's no way he puts his foot through the ball like Duran does there and gets the dip on it to go over a goalkeeper. In fact, I genuinely believe there's not many strikers can have a shot like that from 20. Like, he's only 25 yards out. It's not like he's 35 yards out and the keeper's 12 yards off his line. Keeper's only about 8 yards off his line, and he gets it up and over him and just completely bamboozles. It's a ridiculously good shot. And it's in Maverick stuff, and it's like against Bayern Munich. No one fucking expected him to do it. And that's brilliant. That's a skill in itself. The art of the unknown. I don't care who starts up front as long as we win games. I don't care who starts up right back as long as we win games. I don't care who starts up front
as long as we win games either. The one thing is, if we could just get John Duran doing the things that Ollie Watkins does off the ball, there's nobody going to keep Duran out of the team if he can do them things.
100%.
Just not picking them up. Like you said, I'm being harsh. Like, the things that go unnoticed that Ollie Watkins does is dragging players out of position, is running the right channels. Duran doesn't do that. Duran is the tales of the unexpected.
I will say, for his goal, and I showed it here about 5 minutes ago on Virgin Media, his run when he comes deep, he comes in between a triangle of players. I actually think he spots where that is, and he comes in between the triangle of players. He loops his run around the what we'll call if you've got the left hand of the triangle, loops his run around and actually goes towards the channel. It comes back inside, picks the ball up, and then just blasts it into the back of the net. But what that does is it spread the whole midfield because they come tight, spread the whole midfield, and the fullback was gone for a run at that stage. And when John Duran gets that ball, he's facing down Willie Orban, I think it is, at centre half, or maybe it might have been Seeveld, whichever one of the two centre halves were there. And I think that run was good. So I think this is the most complete game that he's played from a build-up player point of view. And it's okay. Like as I said, I was only here in the post-match for Southampton saying, he doesn't do the same things as Ollie Watkins does. That's not to say he's not going to be able to do it in the future. And Jesus, today, for at least 20 minutes of that second half, probably more, I would say, probably half an hour of that second half. There was 15 minutes where we were slightly disjointed in that second half, kind of just before Barkley comes on and Maatsen comes on, and that would kind of reshelled us up again. But I have to say I was really impressed with him. I was really impressed with the work he did off the ball and specifically for that goal. And look, as you say, if that's a teaser of what comes in the future, and if we can see consistency with that, brilliant. Just like I'd love if John Duran could teach Ollie Watkins just to put his laces through the ball sometimes instead of trying to place it, and go across the goalkeeper. Sometimes just langer it and see if it ends up in the top corner. Maybe a lot more guys will start doing that. Listen, Ross Barkley got a goal out of it today. Just hit it. And it comes off Klosterman and into the back of the net.
Sometimes he hits it and doesn't catch it right, as we saw when he pulled one wide today, which he probably should have done better with Duran, in fairness. These are going to happen. But this extra space in the middle just created all those chances. Like, how many shots do we have? We must have had close to 20, I would imagine.
I have a thing here on my phone. It's called the internet, and it's a really good thing. I don't know. Yeah.
19 shots.
19.
Like, that's phenomenal. 8 shots on target.
They had 17? Doesn't seem like they had 17 shots in the game. They had a bit of a flurry at the end. They had a flurry at the end, didn't they? Jesus, by the way, we didn't even talk about Martinez's save where he hurt his hand. Another incredible save down low at the post. Wow. Like, I know we've just dug him out. We've dug him out for the 2 goals that we conceded. But Christ, when you see a save like that, the reactions to that is incredible. And just fair, like, that was brilliant. Yeah. And as you say, hurt his hand. But I'm super happy with that result. Like as I say, the 2 goals, we talk about them in their silo or whatever, but the result is the result, and to me, after how would I put it, the meltdown that both of us had, rightly so, after the Juventus game, in a game that if we had won that, I felt that we were qualified. And I felt we were harshly treated in that game, the way that the referee chalked off the goal. I think in this game, we don't really have much to, like, I thought the officiating was grand. Like, it didn't stand out. It wasn't positive. It wasn't negative. I think it just went out and did their job. I thought they were fine. That was really good. Yeah. And that's what you want, exactly. They got all the calls right. They got all the calls right. And that's what you can ask for. And that's why when I look at this game, I go, we got our just desserts because we were a better team. We were the better performing team. And yes, it goes in off a fella's arse. But I don't care. We didn't get the luck against Juventus that we should have got. Or we had bad luck against Juventus. We've good luck here against Leipzig. And maybe it is true that over the course of a year it all evens out. But over the course of 2 weeks it's evened out here for Aston Villa. And that's what makes me so delighted about this game, that the footballing gods have seen fit to do us right by have one pinging off a fella's hip, even though we deserve to get the win outside of that.
Yeah, and there were other chances that we probably could have scored from as well. But I'm delighted for Ross Barkley. I think he's a guy who's worked really hard in his career over the last few years to reinvent himself, and I think he enjoyed that tonight. And fair play to him. I think he deserved it. He's waited on his chance. He hasn't been grumpy. His opportunities come, and every time he gets his opportunity, he does his absolute best. So I was delighted for him.
There
was something.
Watkins apparently is injured.
He's not injured. He had a cut on his knee. Be the gash on his knee.
I know he did, yeah. He had that throughout the most of the first half anyway, but Unai apparently
Yeah,
said he's just a small injury as well. But I would tell you,
yeah.
your biggest takeaway is that my second name is Dunworth. It's been up there for the last, however, I think that's been up there for the Buds the last 2 years, maybe longer, 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, and wait, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it and I'm going to spell it. I'm going to spell it in Irish, and it's 28 letters in Irish, and see, it'll be nearly touching Paddy's name over the other side by the time I'm finished. By the time I'm finished spelling it, but yeah, that's my surname. And do you know what? The funny thing about it, it's been my surname all my life as well. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah. There you go.
Um,
Maybe it's just the first time he's watched on YouTube. So you're more than welcome.
No, Balotelli's
Don't forget to
been in
subscribe
Hawaii.
while you're here.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to come down to a couple of comments here. I'm just going to randomly pick a couple in there. Alex says, strange game, really good performance. Moving the passing between the lines was exceptional, and we got wing play. We got wing play, guys, for the first time in about 10 weeks. I'm absolutely delighted with that as well. Yes, Andy Hilly, shout out to Matty Cash tonight. He done well in Bailey's position. Absolutely. I think Matty Cash was really good tonight. I thought he was brilliant. I actually, you know what? I was kind of going, bit miffed, a bit underwhelmed at him. Thought he was absolutely fantastic in that position today, playing as a right wing back. Just bring, like, it could be the making of him in that position. And also, what it allowed us to do was bring on Nedeljkovic in a position that Unai obviously trusted him in more. Bring him on that right wing back position. And I thought he did fine as well. Got up the field, got back the field, cut inside by Openda once. But apart from that, you know, game time in the Champions League, what more can the young man look for? What do you think, Paddy? Matty Cash?
Yeah. I'm surprised he took him off because I thought he was excellent. Maybe it was a case of saving him to do the same thing on Saturday. I don't know. But yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit to go back to his old club as well on Saturday because we're due a win there. Whether we get it or not's another story. But I don't think we've won there since they've come up. Sure, we haven't. I know we're beaten 2-0 last year. I think we may have drawn the year before.
They've been a bogey team. Yeah, we've anytime. Yeah, it's been Villa Park. Yeah, I've got memories of Aina pinging one in last year.
Yeah. That was November the 5th, I think, last year, because I was at day 2 of a wedding when that happened, so I remember it well.
Yeah. Where are we with our? Sorry, I got completely distracted there a moment ago watching Brian Kerr and Richard Dunn. They actually had pinpointed a great passage of play in the game, and I went, oh yeah, actually, forgot all about that one. Where are we going here? What was that?
Is that correct on the screen?
Yes. Except it's a DHONNDUBHAIRTAIGH. There's an I in there as well, I think. Yeah, that's the way I was always told how to spell it, was with a H. And then I there in between the A and the I. Yeah, so it's one that, like, I could never have played senior hurling for Limerick, so thankfully I took to the booze instead. But I could never have played it because I would have had to change my name to Irish, because there's a big thing here. So when you're naming your child in Ireland, you have to think about how it's going to sound in a commentator's name. That was how I named my young fella anyway. So it's a big consideration here in Ireland. How it sounds in a commentator, how it sounds coming out of a commentator's voice, and that's why I considered going with my Irish name, because it sounds a bit better when it's been said in a commentator's voice. Sorry, where are we here?
I had the unusual experience today of listening to what was probably an out-of-date podcast. You know, Sam Toy from Sky Sports as a podcast.
I do.
He did one with Dougie Critchley last Tuesday.
Two great guys.
Whenever I was listening to it, it came on afterwards, and my God, the difference in if I'd have listened to that last Tuesday to listen to it today. And I actually messaged Sam afterwards. He was laughing. I
must get Sam on. I've threatened to get him on. Not threatened. I've asked him, would he come on, about 8 times, and completely he said, yeah, I'm just away for the next couple of weeks, follow up me afterwards. And I've completely forgotten to every single time. It's why I need a PA. It's why I need a producer or a director, or just somebody who's a bit competent in the mind at times.
But anyway, the point I'm making is the place we've gone to since last Tuesday, both in the league and in the Champions League. That run is virtually forgotten. Just hopefully we can do the business on Saturday, because that would be absolutely huge going into the Christmas period. That we know anything can happen against Man City, but I think there's games there that we're capable of winning. And Newcastle aren't doing great. Brighton are hit and miss. We've Leicester then after that. It's just, this could be our month, our moving month. So fingers crossed that we can push on, and it would just really kickstart our season. If it isn't already kickstarted, just to get those 3 points on Saturday, I think they will be absolutely huge for us.
Oh, big style. Yeah, I think it would really be great. And it would create a bit of separation, beating a team that's around us in the league where we are at the moment, team that's not expected to be up around the top, team that on merit deserves to be up around the top where we are as well. But to beat them creates a bit of separation from them too. And because of the concertina effect of the league, everyone from third place down to 12th or 13th, I think at the moment, is in with a chance of Europe. So getting those wins and getting something against City and getting something against Brighton, that creates separation, in around the top as well. So looking forward to that game at the weekend as well. I just want to say a couple of thanks to a couple of people. Dave, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member, and also thank you, Dave, for gifting a podcast membership as well to one lucky person here on the podcast. And also I want to say a massive thanks to Adam Hewitt. He's been a member for 10 months. I'm not even sure we had memberships going for 10 months, but it looks like we have. And he says how a week in football can change everyone's mood. You're absolutely right, Adam. And that's the beauty about football. As Jurgen Klopp and myriad other people have said before, including the man here beside me, it's the most important and least important things. And, on a shitty Tuesday in the middle of December where it's been freezing cold, you get to have a small bit of enjoyment. And when your team wins, that enjoyment goes up a small bit better, a small bit more of a level. So you're dead right. How a week in football changes absolutely everything, and changes it from a lot of players in that team, based on the fact that we, Matty Cash now, has he found a new role if a back three has been played? Who else were we talking about there a moment ago as well? John McGinn. I've tried to talk about John McGinn and gone off on a tangent on my own every time. I thought John McGinn was absolutely sensational today. I thought he gave them fits in the first half. And Unai managing minutes, then bringing him off and bringing other people on. I think it was really smart. I think it was a smart game from outside of the 2 goals. It was a smart game for 90 minutes. Today from players we needed to stand up, and they absolutely did. So great stuff all around. Great to have that win, should I say, and lots of positives that you can build on from a performance like that.
Absolutely. I think we're all buzzing. It's I'm coming out the other side of a fairly shit couple of months. So Villa corresponding those couple of months with the performances that we've and results that we've had has made it a bit more difficult. So while there's light at the end of the tunnel now and things are looking up, Villa started to play again. So looking forward to Christmas and hopefully another few wins on the board. And I'm actually getting to Villa Park next week, Neil. I'm going to the Man City game, so I'm absolutely buzzing for that now.
yeah. Of course, a big game in your house anyway with your dad and his Man City fandom for the last 60 years, probably more. So
more maybe.
So you're looking at that. That'd be a great event. Yeah, it'd be a great one to go and see. Better bring back 3 points or you're sacked, by the way. Peter Collins says, great discussion up to Villa. Thanks very much for that, Peter. Really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate the super chat there as well. I think that's going to do it. I'm really happy. Like it's one of these ones. The dog is looking in the door at me here. It's 10:30. He only got a short walk, and I think I'm going to reward the dog because of my good form, and I'm going to go in and take him for a big long walk and get back at some stage, maybe close to midnight. I'll be one of those lunatics walking my dog at 11 o'clock at night. And just because I'm going to go away and I'm going to listen to the other podcasts that have their post matches on, and I'm going to relive it again as a fan of podcasts as well. So I suggest all you guys do that as well. There's 1,100, nearly 1,200 people watching this here at the moment. Thank you so much to everybody. If you're watching on Twitter or X, and if you want to go and follow us on YouTube, please do. Just click on the subscribe button there. It costs you nothing. And likewise, we're on all different social media. We normally stream to YouTube and to Twitter. I've tried streaming to Facebook, but it keeps on. Can Neil show toes? I could.
If you pay enough.
Yeah, it's one sure way to get some sort of strike on YouTube. Anyway, if you show my hooves, put it this way, I'll have archaeologists down to my house in the morning, trying to figure out what's on the end of my feet. But yeah, so listen, follow us on all social media is basically what I was saying. And before I go, and I know I plugged it in the pre-match, but I want to plug it again because they're really nice guys, Samir and the guys in Division Retro. I'm just going to pop it up here on the screen as well. Look, as I say, it's nice to help out people. The guys here on Division Retro, they are the official stockists of official Henson gear that Aston Villa did. You can see the jerseys there as well. They've got hoodies in there. If you use the code McGrath20, all lowercase, it's you get 20% off. Also, there's another code there as well with Retro20 as well if you want to use that too. But look, as I say, just looking to help out some Villa fans, genuine Villa fans that are selling some genuine Villa gear. That would be pretty cool. And you guys have probably seen Samir on Pete the Canadian's Holy Trinity podcast as well. So that's the same Samir. And he's a nice guy. And if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, we'll go and pick it up. And that's going to do it. We're going to be back really soon again with the preview of the City game. And then there's going to be team sheet tantrums and post matches. I may be Oslaugher are missing in English for the team sheet tantrum this weekend. I have my... Oh, no, I'm not going to be because we've done this already, Paddy. We've been through this already. I have my Christmas... yeah, it could be you that's missing. I've got my Christmas party on Friday night, so you could see an even more disheveled Neil for the team sheet tantrum in the post match on Saturday. So yeah, it's worth tuning in if nothing else, just for that.
Neil, we might get to do the preview in person together, are we? This week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Actually, never thought of that. Yeah. Yeah, we might have something different for the preview. All right, yeah, we'll see. I love these production meetings we have live to 1,100 people at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday.
Yeah. They all do it. All the good podcasts do it, and the shit ones do it as well. So don't worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to leave you all, get back to your beds, or at least turn on the other Villa podcasts and listen to them there as well, to their post matches. Thanks a million for joining us. Brilliant night for Aston Villa. Qualified for the next round of the Champions League regardless, and probably more brilliant European nights to come. So there are what we can look forward to over the coming weeks and months. But yeah, listen, we're going to leave you to it, guys. We'll be back really, really soon with more podcasts, with the preview for Man City. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.